These 15 games rarely receive attention, yet each one earns top marks. They sit quietly on digital store shelves while large blockbuster titles grab the spotlight, causing millions of players to walk right past them every year. That changes today. From a ghost ship filled with dead bodies to a card game played against a stranger in a pitch-dark cabin, this list covers 15 experiences that stay with you long after the credits roll. Our final entry completely rewires how you think about video games as a medium.
Outer Wilds from Mobius Digital strips exploration down to its purest form. You wake up aboard a tiny wooden rocket, and you quickly realize the sun explodes every 22 minutes. Since that supernova kills everything, you constantly return to the exact same spot, with nothing but curiosity to guide you. By flying between planets and reading ancient writings carved into crumbling ruins, you naturally piece together a mystery spanning a whole solar system. Since there is no combat to manage, this focused simplicity makes the experience unforgettable. Return of the Obra Dinn starts with a ship vanishing at sea, only to reappear at port years later with the fates of its 60 passengers and crew unknown. With nobody offering an explanation, you board as an insurance investigator carrying a magic pocket watch that freezes the exact moment each person died. Working backward from those frozen scenes, identifying faces, names, and causes of death happens one by one. Even though the logic required to solve it runs steep, landing each correct answer delivers a satisfaction few games ever match. CrossCode by Radical Fish Games initially resembles a 1990s console release, but that impression vanishes fast once the action starts. You play as Leah, an amnesiac girl with a malfunctioning speech module who is dropped into a physical, augmented reality game world she cannot escape. Since combat runs extremely fast and demands sharp reflexes, the puzzle designs inside the dungeons naturally rank among the most cleverly built in any action RPG from the past decade. While its pixel art hides the true scale of the design, it turns out to be a 40-hour adventure carrying real emotional weight. Inscryption arrived in 2021 and spent its core marketing campaign hiding the truth. It presents a card game where you play against a shadowy figure in a dark wooden cabin. Soon enough, those cards whisper secrets to you, and you realize you can physically pick up and examine objects hidden around the room. On top of that, the rules shift in unexpected ways, so describing anything beyond that ruins the experience. My best advice is to go in knowing as little as possible, staying patient when things inevitably start feeling strange. Signalis built its world from retro pixel art and cold science fiction, digging far deeper with its horror atmosphere than basic jump scares ever could. You play as a robot named Elster, searching a frozen, decaying planet for a partner she refuses to abandon. Since tight inventory management creates intense pressure and puzzles draw on surreal dream logic, the story slowly layers its meaning across several hours. While fans of older survival horror titles felt at home immediately, its emotional depth reaches places those older titles never approached. Neon White makes speed its primary focus, casting you as an assassin sent to heaven whose weapons are playing cards. Every card features a second use, meaning discarding one allows you to perform a super jump, a dash, or a rocket boost instead. Because most levels run between 15 seconds and 2 minutes, the system grades every run against a ticking clock. Shaving a single second off a personal best becomes highly addictive, and visually stylish sequences between levels add genuine emotional core to the racing. Before Your Eyes is primarily controlled through your webcam, utilizing software that tracks your actual eyes, though it also offers an option to play with a mouse. Every time you blink in the physical world, time jumps forward inside the story, letting you live through a person's full life in just a brief sitting. Memories naturally blur and shift the way they do in reality, turning an involuntary physical action into a brilliant storytelling device. That final narrative hit near the end catches most players completely by surprise. Tunic dropped in 2022, wrapping a difficult adventure inside the image of an adorable fox wandering a sunlit world. Instruction feels non-existent at the start, which sounds frustrating right up until the design logic clicks. Scattered across the world are pages of an in-game manual written in a fictional language you gradually decode. Those pages explain mechanics and reveal secrets, slowly handing the rules back to you piece by piece. Because combat demands intense patience, completing the journey genuinely feels like a real accomplishment. A Short Hike built its central identity around being gentle, casting you as a small bird named Claire on vacation at a provincial park. Her simple goal involves reaching the mountain's peak to catch a phone signal, but along the way you meet other animals, glide across cliffs, and cast a fishing line. Those short conversations somehow carry more warmth than anything found in much larger releases. Since the total experience clocks around 2 hours, that tight, focused length shines as a feature rather than a flaw. Into the Breach solved the biggest frustration in strategy games by entirely eliminating invisible information. While giant insects overrun Earth, you command 3 mechs on a small, grid-based battlefield. Before each enemy turn, the interface shows exactly what every bug plans to attack, meaning you know exactly where each hit lands. Your job requires repositioning, redirecting, and absorbing damage to protect the civilian buildings behind you. With every decision sitting fully visible, every mistake belongs solely to you, and that transparency makes each victory feel earned. Dave the Diver combined 2 very different concepts into one irresistible daily loop. During the day, you dive into a living underwater canyon, catching fish and gathering ingredients while the ocean ecosystem shifts around you. At night, you run a sushi restaurant using everything you caught, managing staff and upgrading recipes. Serving customers happens under real-time pressure, so the contrast between those peaceful dives and chaotic service shifts keeps the experience feeling remarkably fresh across 30 hours of play. Pentiment released in 2022 with a unique visual style that draws heavily from medieval manuscript illustration. Every character and background sits inside the aesthetic of a 15th century illuminated book, and the writing fully matches that care. You play as Andreas, an artist and scholar living in a 1518 Bavarian village. A murder investigation soon pulls him in, stretching across decades where your choices shape the town's history permanently. With historical research giving conversations great density, it naturally demands slow, careful play. SOMA built one of the most deeply disturbing stories in the medium around the question of what defines consciousness. You wake up underwater, and inside this broken research facility, machines surround you. These metal husks genuinely believe they are human, so horror comes less from the monsters patrolling the corridors and more from the philosophical dread building as you move deeper into the base. Its ending delivers a substantial gut punch that communities still debate today. To this day, its themes offer no clean answers. Slay the Spire created a genre framework dozens of studios have copied since, though none have fully matched it. After choosing a hero, fighting monsters requires playing cards from a deck you build from scratch. Climbing that shifting tower naturally results in dying frequently, sending you right back to the bottom. Even so, the knowledge you carry forward grows with every run, and card synergies across 4 characters generate countless viable strategies. Veterans with thousands of hours still discover new approaches, putting this compulsive loop in a category all by itself. Forgotton Anne earns the top spot through striking hand-drawn art. Its narrative handles moral weights with more care than most large productions ever manage, set in a world entirely filled with discarded human objects. Old socks, broken umbrellas, and lost toys roam around completely alive, constantly searching for meaning. You play as Anne, acting as a human enforcer trying to keep order. Decisions forced upon you carry heavy consequences that ripple forward. Visually, it looks like a stunning piece of interactive illustration, and its storytelling fully matches that visual ambition. All 15 of these games deliver something the mainstream market rarely offers. They present a focused, personal experience built with actual care, rather than sheer marketing spend. Most of these sit on PC and major consoles, usually costing a fraction of a standard release. Drop the name of any title from this list you have already played in the comments below, and share which one you are adding to your library today. If this video pointed you towards something new, hit like and subscribe for more deep cuts from every corner of gaming.